Hi guys, my name is Marta, welcome to my channel and welcome to my spring TBR/book recommendations video. I don't usually make TBR videos, but I thought it would be a great idea to share with you the huge list of books I have that I would like to get to this season. I don't think I will be able to get to all of them, but I decided to make a pretty big list so you can also get quite a wide range of recommendations. When it comes to the book plots of the books, most of them are either about love or have something to do with spring in the title or in the cover. I am super excited to share this list with you. I hope you'll meet some new titles and maybe authors. And now without further ado, let's get to the list. First book that I would like to read this spring is El amor en los tiempos de cólera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This has been translated to English as Love in Time of Cholera. I know nothing about it, but the fact that it's one of Gabriel Garcia Marquez's most popular stories, that is supposed to be beautiful and that is about a love story that expands through 70 years according to the back of the book. Sounds like it's going to be a very devastating story and one that I will probably cry while reading and that will probably also break my heart and make me think. Yeah, I am super excited to get back to Garcia Marquez. I've only read 100 Years of Solitude by him, but I read it twice and both times I've absolutely fell in love with the story and the characters, so I am very intrigued to see what his other books have to offer. Next, I have here a very short story from an author that I've been dying to get to for over a year now, and it is Unica Zurn's Dark Spring. The Unica Zurn was a surrealist, and he, I think, was mostly a short story and novella writer. This is her most popular work. It's very short, as you can see, and it's supposed to be very weird and surreal. Surrealism is a literary movement that I find very fascinating, even though I don't think I've ever read anything from, but still, most of the books in that artistic movement really intrigue me, and since this title has to do with spring, I think it's now the perfect time for me to read it. Next, I have two books from Japanese literature. The first of them is The Makioka Sisters by Junichiro Tanizaki. This is supposed to be the story of a family, and of the four Makioka sisters, it's supposed to be a devastating story. I don't know much about it, but the fact that it is set right before World War II and that is supposed to be very sad, very moving, and one of the most important titles in modern Japanese literature. So yeah, this is a book that I've been meaning to read ever since I became a proper reader back in 2019, and I think it's now finally time for me to get to know this story and see what it is all about with my own eyes. And the other work of Japanese literature from this collection that I'm hoping to read in spring is The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa. This is a very short novella. It's supposed to be, I think, a love story between a housekeeper and a professor. I don't know much about it, but from what I've read about in the different reviews on Goodreads, it's supposed to be a beautiful story that lots of people find very sweet and cozy, so I am very much looking forward to reading it this spring, because coziness and love are two of my favorite things to read about this season. Next, more than a book, I have an author, and it is my very beloved Joyce. I have here two books of hers. I still don't know which one I'm going to read, but they are Nanon and Pauline and Lavinia. This is a collection of novellas. It actually has three stories, Pauline, Lavinia, and I think Lelia. And the other one is just Nanon. These are the gorgeous Cranford editions, and I love Joyce. Her stories are cozy, most of the time set in the countryside, and most of the times feature a cute romance story. So yeah, I don't need more explanation about the plot to know that I'm going to love them. So yeah, one of these I'm going to read, still don't know which one, but you will probably find out once I review it. And speaking of beloved authors, a work of modern literature that I would like to get to is Mercè Rodoreda's La Mort y la Primavera, translated to English as Death in Spring. This was, I think, Mercè Rodoreda's last novel, and It is a very weird surrealist story that was left unfinished and that is supposed to be plotless but gorgeous when it comes to the writing. I've read two works by Mercè Rodoreda, Mirar Trencat, which I read for school, and La Plaza del Diamant, both translated to A Broken Mirror and In the Diamond Square, respectively, in English, and I love them. I love Mercè Rodoreda as an author. Her writing has every single feature I like in her writing style, and I am dying to read more from her. So I guess this one is going to be my next one. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. It's become one of her most popular works the last few months, and I am dying to get to it. I think it's going to be one of my favorites of the year. Super excited to read it. I think this one is going to be one of those that if I don't read, I will probably be really mad at myself. Speaking of beloved authors, I have an Ernaux to read this spring as well, because I can't live without this author ever since I started reading her, and this time is Passion Simple, translated to English as Simple Passion. Is a love story between Ernaux and a man. It's supposed to be very obsessive, it's really short. I'm expecting nothing but to fall in love with it, as I do with all of her works. And yeah, it's very short. It's been made into a movie recently, I think 2 years ago. And I cannot wait to read it, I cannot wait to see it. It's one of her most beloved works, and yeah, I'm missing her. The last book I read from her was L'Evénement, which I don't know the exact translation to English. I will leave the cover here, but I read it for uni, so it was not the same. And I am looking forward to get back to her this season with Passion Simple. Next, I have an author I'm been looking forward to get to for a while now, and it is Jesmine Ward. I have here Sing Unburied Sing, which is supposed to be the story of a family. I love reading about generational stories, and this book by Jesmine Ward is one that has received a lot of praise and a lot of good reviews. So I am super excited to read it. Hopefully I will love it. It's been a while since I read a generational story, and I've been missing that in my reading. So super excited to get back to those type of stories with an author that I've been meaning to read for a while now. Next, I have a Catalan book that has been recently translated into English. It was published here a long time ago, and I've owned it for over a year now, and it is I Canto Yo y la Montaña Vaya, translated to English I think as I Sing and the Mountain Dances, by Irene Solà. This is a book set in the Pyrenees. Don't know much about it, but the fact that it features a lot of elements and that it talks a lot about nature and animals, and rural and countryside areas are places that sound very spring-like. So yeah, very much looking forward to reading this finally this year. Speaking of popular books that I've been meaning to get to, Hamnet by Maggie of Hval. This was published I think in 2019 or 2020, I don't even know, a while now. It's a very popular book all about Shakespeare's wife. Most of the books that are about Shakespeare talk about Shakespeare as an author and not about his family. This book has received a lot of praise. Lots of people had it in their favorites list when the year it came out. And having in mind the fact that I've been reading a lot of Shakespeare this year, I think it's finally time for me to get to this work of contemporary literature. Another short book I have here is Babette's Feast by Isak Dinesen, and after owning this book for a while now, I think it's time finally for me to read it. I know nothing about it, but the books in this collection are usually short, sweet and lovely, so I cannot wait to read it. It's supposed to be about a meeting for lunch or dinner? I don't even know, but it sounds spring-like. It's set in a small town in Norway, and I don't have any more explanations than the fact that the cover reminds me of our picnic. I mean, yeah, I want to read it in spring just for that. Next, I have a book that I think has been really popular recently, and it is Paradise Lost by Jenny Hval. This is another book translated for the Norwegian, and I know nothing about it, but that I think it's queer and about an obsessive love story. I'm aware that it's been getting mixed reviews, but the title really appeals me, and the Spanish cover is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So yeah, super excited to get to it. Hopefully it's going to make me suffer a little bit. A lot of things. Hopefully it's going to be as weird as I like my stories to be. And yeah, so I am very excited to read it. I will hopefully get to it very soon because it's pretty short. And I guess I will tell you all about it once I do. Next book is considered a masterpiece of Japanese literature, and it is Natsume Soseki's Kokoro. This is this author's most famous work. I read I Am a Cat by him a million years ago in 2018, and I fell in love with it. This is supposed to be a very sad love story that I think is also maybe semi-autobiographical. I have no idea if that is correct. Still, I've been meaning to read for a while now. It's supposed to be about love, it's supposed to be beautiful and devastating, and I want my heart to be broken by a book. So yeah, very excited to read it. We only have 3 books left, and the first one is The Enchanted April by Elizsbeth von Armin. This is what I talked about when I said that some books had something to do with spring in its title, because this book has the word April, and to me that means that it must be read in spring. I recently purchased this book after having been meaning to read anything from this author for a while, and I know nothing about it, but that it's about a group of women who are staying at an abandoned castle, I think. It sounds mysterious. It sounds like something I'm going to love, and I am very, very excited to read it. It sounds like it's going to be a favorite of the season, and yeah, nothing else to say. I am just excited. And next I have 2 authors that I've been meaning to read ever since I discovered world literature, I think. And they are James Joyce and Marcel Proust. From Joyce, I would like to get to Dubliners, which is his short stories / novella collection. I've owned this for the longest time. I still haven't gotten to it. I think it's now finally time for me to read some James Joyce. I think I'm going to love his prose, but he's a scary author. Hopefully it will be as lovely as I think. Hopefully he will become a favorite. And yeah, I guess I will tell you once I read it and review it. And by Proust, I am not going to start with Swan's Way. I'm going to start with this short stories / novella collection, which I don't know the title of in English, so I will put the cover here. But in French is Le Plaisir et le Jour and L'Indifférent. This is a short stories / novella collection, same as Dubliners. As you can see, I have a theme. When I'm scared of an author, I read the novellas. But yeah, Proust, another author that I think I'm going to fall in love with his prose, but one that scares me. Hopefully this book will make me less scared of him, and hopefully after reading these 2 books, I will venture into Swan's Way or La Recherche du Temps Perdu, if you want the title in French, and hopefully one day I will venture into Ulysses, though I think for that it will have to be after I read Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, because we start with short things and then we move on to the bigger ones. So that was all for today. I hope this video wasn't too long. Comment down below if you read any of these books and what you thought of them. Also comment down below what your spring reading plans are. Tell me what book are you most excited to see me review. And that's it. Don't forget to give this video a like if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me, or if you don't want to miss my review of all of these books. And I hope you guys are amazing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!